Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop.
I'm your host.
Your DFS Jerusalem coming to you live from the
Listen, you got 150 entries and then you're a shark and I don't fuck with you. So
There's too much good shit on here. This is the often imitated, never duplicated. I'm here with my lovely co-host. Thank y'all. Stay safe. Enjoy. I may have been calling in to work. You're gonna be in the running for the Snowflake of the Year. Get your shit together with your snowflake. I'm at the crib, man, and I'm just finishing up. Stop. Throw them bitches in the main. I'm telling you. You're gonna see the results, bro. You're gonna see it. This is what's really gonna help you out. You know how I feel about the home dogs. There's a lot of fight in the home dogs, and I really think a lot of shit to go over tonight. Who that scored all them points over there? Player of the night.
get them in your lineups, get them in there, and let's go get this money.
Thursday, let's go, and remember, in the sweatshop, we always keep it 300. Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, we're going to be breaking down last night's 5-game NBA slate, taking a look ahead to tonight's monster 11-game slate, and going with our regular 490 of the show. Now, normally on slates 6 games or more, what I would do is issue out a core of plays. These are 4 guys that I'm going to be rocking with in most of my lineups. I try to get those 4 guys together to get me to at least 6x value together combined. But it was a 5-game slate we had last night, and so I did not issue out a core 4. What I did was I employed a stack strategy in most spots. I looked at the offenses that I liked the most and went ahead and targeted those with a stacking technique, sometimes going 3, 4, and even 5 deep in some situations. So was not a profitable night for me in the sweatshop. Got about half my buy-in back. And the beautiful thing about that, or the good thing about that is, you know, I just haven't been playing as heavily when it comes to my overall buy-ins. Usually on a slate that I really like, I would rock with 10%. 10% of all of my complete bankroll, I would play that. But since it's been so uncertain heading, and you really can't make lineups that you love until 10, 15 minutes before lock when you get that last bit of news. So I kind of scale my buy-in back. Plus, MLB is quickly approaching. I'm going to be going very hard the first few months of MLB. So I kind of just wanted to curb my enthusiasm, scale my buy-ins back. That way I can be around and stick around, because baseball is an even longer season than NBA. I'm talking about baseball is an even longer season. It's 160 some odd games. So there's a ton of MLB to play. So I'm going to be waiting on that patiently. And we should be dropping new content in regards to the MLB season very shortly. Very shortly. The season starts. We got about 4 more days until it goes live. So we'll be looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and jump into the feature 4 plays of the night. These are the 4 most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS Sweatshop, in the Facebook VIP, and as well as on Twitter. The first player we're going to be talking about today is going to be the Who Dat, scoring all the points over there, player of the night. This goes out to Tariq Black. You know, I was so close to throwing this cat in one of my lineups. I was looking for the 3K play of the day. You know, did not like Zubac too much, and I was like, yo, maybe I should play Tariq Black. And I was like, nah, Zubac probably gonna play the whole game. Black won't get any minutes, so nah, I'm not gonna play him. And Zubac gets hurt. This guy goes out, and in 23 minutes, dropped 15 points, 9 boards, also blocked a couple shots. Very nice game. Got 10x value. Tariq Black tonight. You are the Who Dat, scoring all them points over there, player of the night. The next guy we're gonna talk about is the how did I miss that play tonight? And this goes out to the homie Dame Lillard. This dude has a string of Dame games, and I continue to miss out on them, man. 9.2K was priced up just a touch for me tonight. Did not think, you know, because either I had, you know, Harden lines or I had LeBron lines. Like, that's the way I went in most of my roster builds, man. And that proved to be my undoing tonight. Because if I had given Dame just a little bit more attention, I only rostered him in the late slate because, of course, you know where else we're going to go. But, man, in the main, this dude went ham, man. 31 points, 11 assists, 4 boards, knocked down 4 3-pointers, got a couple steals, only had 3 turnovers on the night in a big game, beating the Houston Rockets at the crib. Very nice game for you. And how the fuck did I miss you tonight? Damn. Dame Lillard. Tonight's. How did I miss that play of the night? Next guy we're going to be talking about is the heat check player tonight. And this guy's won this award a couple of times this year. We are talking about Ricky Rubio. Goes out and has an excellent game. And something that you're going to see here that is very uncharacteristic of Rick Rubio's game is the scoring. Because, you know, usually we can count on him for 10, 12, maybe even 15 points in some spots. But for Ricky Rubio to go out and knock down 4 3-point shots, scored 33 points, also dish out 10 dimes, grab 5 boards. Man, awesome game for you, and that's why I salute to you tonight, Ravish and Rick Rubio. You are the heat check play of the night. Now, we got to talk about this one motherfucker. CJ, the reason why I didn't roster your teammate is because I wanted to take the discount in you. And this is a classic case of getting what you pay for. I took the discount, and you, with your snowflake ass, priced down to 7.6K in a prime matchup spot, you go out and you bring back a punk ass measly 18.25 DraftKings points. Brother, you was 19% owned. You know what that means, right? That means you ran off from the motherfucking plug. And for that, tonight, you a motherfucking snowflake with your old snowflake ass, and I ain't gonna roster your bitch ass again. Now let's get on with the rest of the motherfucking shit. Now, before we get into tonight's 11-game monster slate, I just would like to show you my very best DraftKings lineup. And this is just so that you know that the strategies that I talk about are actually some of the strategies that I am employing. So let's take a quick look. This is my very best DraftKings lineup. Did not hit 300 club tonight. 295.5 was the closest I was able to get. We started this lineup off, of course, wanted to take advantage of some of the perfect lineup spots that we were in. Raymond Felton was somebody who I should have known better than to go here. I had Karis LeVert in most spots. That was the play that was given to us through Rudy's perfect lineups examination. I did have him in a couple other lineups, but that didn't have him here. We had DeAndre Jordan, really solid game there, 36.25. We had LeBron James at 54.5, not a horrible showing from him. Sweet Lou Williams, man, really didn't do much. Either did Jeremy Lin. Gorgui Dieng was a very solid player, a guy that we were on. We knew that we were getting that in the perfect lineup spot because the power forward, the Lakers were so bad against the power forwards. We knew that Gorgui Dieng was going to be able to exploit that matchup. We finished this lineup off with Rajon Rondo because we knew the perfect lineup strategy told us that this was going to be a very solid play. This lineup finished with 295.5 DraftKings points. As you can see, I had it in a few tournaments, but not anything that would really make a solid return on all that I invested in the lineups that I did run. So it was not a profitable night, but you live, you learn, we move on. Let's get on to tonight. And we're going to jump into some player pricing, and then we're going to look at the point totals and see where we can invest most of our salaries at. So let's go ahead and get that started. Now, the first thing I like to do whenever we have these larger slates is take a look at the slate, do some slate recognition, see what's happening, man. If you look at this, we've got an 11-game slate, kicks off promptly at 7. We've got a 2-game turbo at 7:30. We've got a 5-game turbo at 8 o'clock, as well as a 2-game late at 9. And something I really like about this is in a 5-game slate, let's go ahead and check out these 5 games that's going to be here. Okay, we're talking about Dallas and Memphis, New York, Miami, Detroit, Milwaukee, Sacramento and New Orleans, and San Antonio and Oklahoma City. So there's some meat on the bone in those 5-game slates. And you know what I'm going to say next. If you feel intimidated by this 11-game slate, there's nothing wrong with playing a turbo. If you're better at the smaller turbo slates, there's nothing wrong with playing a turbo. Actually, I'm going to do a lot of roster building inside of these turbos, and if I really like lineups, I'm going to throw them bitches in the main. And I suggest you do the same thing. So let's go ahead and open up the 11-game slate. We're going to do some quick player pricing, do a rundown of kind of sort of the guys that we do like. And the reason why I do this is so that we can make decisions right now on who we're going to be rostering. We can say, hey, I don't like this guy. Hey, I do like this guy, and we can go from there. So let's go ahead and check this out. Now, as you can see, we got a couple of the heavyweights on tap for tonight. We've got Russell Westbrook going to Oklahoma City, 12.9K. That's still damn near 13K. And usually, what I say on these slates, well, when it's one of them, I when it's one of them, it's an automatic fade. Like I'm not going to play him unless the slate tells me to, in the way of things opening up as far as injuries, or guys going to be resting. We find out the value opens up that would justify rostering a guy like, at such a high price point. But on an 11-game slate with Westbrook and Harden on the slate, you automatically know that value is going to be there to roster these guys. So I do like the spot that Russell Westbrook is in. I do not think that we should have to roster James Harden going down the stretch, especially with that wrist issue he has, and plus the simple fact that the Houston Rockets have already kind of locked up that spot that they're in the playoffs, so we don't really have to worry about that too much. Anthony Davis at 10.3 against Sacramento. There's going to be a huge narrative involved in this game because the Sacramento Kings are going to New Orleans. This is going to be the first time that DeMarcus Cousins right here is going to be facing up against his old team. It would mean a lot more to me as a narrative if New Orleans were going to Sacramento. But the fact that they're coming to New Orleans kind of takes a little bit of luster off of that revenge narrative. But at 9.6K, man, that's a very nice price on DeMarcus Cousins. And right now, just the way it stands, with the exception of Russell Westbrook, DeMarcus Cousins look like a guy that we can definitely pay up for. Definitely. I like him in his spot. Anthony Davis is a no for me because I do like DeMarcus Cousins a lot. I think you can definitely look to LeBron James. And you think that the Cavs are going to flip this switch and turn it on at some point, and we just haven't seen that from them yet. Like, we really haven't. Like, they haven't been playing very good basketball, and I think that's going to continue. So I don't think this is going to be a game where they blow out the Philadelphia 76ers. We've got to look out or be on the lookout for some sort of rest that could take place. We know back-to-back for Kevin Love after the injury is probably not a prime spot to roster him. So that may even open up, more of a reason to get on a guy like LeBron or Kyrie if we do see Kevin Love rest. So we're going to be on the lookout for that as well. Steph Curry at 9.5 against the Houston Rockets. I think we can take a look at that because they do need to continue to win to stay in the spot that they're in, or to keep that first place. Kawhi Leonard at 9.4 against Oklahoma City. I do like him as well. There's a ton of great shit on this slate. Giannis Antetokounmpo seems to be in a bad spot, but against the Detroit Pistons at home, I do like Giannis tomorrow. John Wall, that's a tough spot for John Wall at 9.2, but we know that we're probably not going to be seeing George Hill, which makes it a little bit more palatable. We've got Nikola Jokic at 9.1 against the Charlotte Hornets. I do like that spot for him, definitely. DeMar DeRozan against Indiana is a spot that I do like. I do like DeMar DeRozan. Kyrie Irving is in a plus matchup. He's priced up, has not been playing particularly well lately. Don't think I want to go there. Rudy Gobert, 8.2. Against Washington, man, that's a really nice spot for. Really nice spot. But I don't think center is going to be a place where I pay up, especially, in this matchup. I don't think so. We got Isaiah Thomas at 8.1. Looks like a pretty solid place to play him. It's kind of a stud play in a bad matchup because we do know that Orlando Magic do limit the point guard position. We've got Kemba at home against the Denver Nuggets at 8.1. Kemba's at home. I'm going to give him a look, definitely. Mike Conley has been playing very well lately. I think we can take a look at him at 8.1. I do like Paul George tomorrow. Actually, I love Paul George. I love that spot for him. Hassan Whiteside against my New York Knicks. This time they're in Miami at 7.9K. You get Hassan Whiteside priced under 8K. In a game they have to win. I think you got to take a look there. I really do. Draymond Green at 7.8 is a player that I do like. You can give me some Vucevic against Boston. They are one of the worst rebounding teams in the league when it comes to, the better teams. They're not a very good rebounding team. Andre Drummond, 7.6 is a no for me. Kevin Love is a no for me on the back-to-back. Dario Saric, we know we're not going to be seeing Robert Covington, so that does put Dario Saric in play for us at 7.5. Kristaps is a no for me. Elfrid Payton is a player that I kind of like at 7.4. Give me some Dragic, man. 7.4. The price went down on him. He had a really solid game out last time against the same team. Yeah, you can give me some Dragic tomorrow, definitely. Gordon Hayward at 7.3 is a player that I do like in that spot. Klay Thompson at 7.1, a player that I kind of like there. I do like Klay Thompson. Marc Gasol, if he does play, I think we can take advantage of that 7.2 if he does play. He is questionable at the moment. LaMarcus Aldridge at 7K is the player that I do like. against the Oklahoma City Thunder. No Brad Beal for me tomorrow. Nicholas Batum, I do like him at 6.9. Robert Covington, like I said, is probably going to be out today. We got Al Horford at 6.7. That's a play that we can take advantage of as well. And if we don't see Marc Gasol tomorrow, we definitely can go back to Zach Randolph. Last time, we kind of got fleeced, man, because they started Brandon Wright and didn't start Zach Randolph. He came off of the bench in that game, which was kind of weird. I didn't understand that. When the game before, he started and they won and had a very good game. Well, that's not what happened. So Drew Holiday at 6.7 is a player that I do like against the Sacramento Kings. I think that can be a solid play there. Carmelo Anthony is down at 6.6. Everything is telling me that don't play him. Don't play Carmelo Anthony, but small forwards can get it in against Miami. And I don't want to let the recency bias of what he did the last game kind of take me completely off of a play at 6.6 can be very solid. So I do like James Johnson at 6.5. Rashawn Holmes at 6.4 is not a play that I really want to pay that much for. Man, Jeff Teague is in a very solid spot at 6.4. Coming off of that very bad game he had. He was the snowflake of the night a couple nights ago. Nobody, I think, is going to want to play him. I can take advantage of him there. Ish Smith is at 6.1 against Milwaukee. That is a bad matchup for point guards. I don't want any of that. Tobias Harris at 6.1 is a player that I do have interest in. No Chris Middleton for me. No Marvin Williams for me against the Denver Nuggets. Derrick Rose is questionable. If he plays, I still don't like him. Jay Crowder is a player I do like at 6K, as is Wilson Chandler. You know we can target the Charlotte Hornets rebound in the basketball. Miles Turner is priced down at 6K. Not a player that I'm particularly interested in. Neither is Avery Bradley at 5.9. Yeah, I can take some Avery Bradley. I can. Trevor Ariza at 5.9 is a player that I really don't like. Gallinari under 6K is always in play for me. Gallinari under 6K is a very solid play tomorrow. I definitely like that. Victor Oladipo priced down at 5.8 can be seeing some Danny Green defense. Not a big fan of that. Clint Capella is a no for me, as is Harrison Barnes. Willie Cauley-Stein is a no for me. I know the DVP looks great. So it's a plus matchup for him, but that's just not. I'm not going to go there for him. I'm not. Evan Fournier is a no for me. Dirk Nowitzki, not a play that I'm particularly interested in tomorrow as well. Willie Hernangomez, if for some reason he gets a start, I like him. If he gets a start. Serge Ibaka is priced down to 5.6. We can attack the Indiana Pacers rebound in the basketball. That's not something that Serge Ibaka has done with much frequency, but matched up against Serge Ibaka, matched up against Thad Young, that could be a solid play. I do like Gary Harris. We can attack the Charlotte Hornets at the shooting guard position. I like Gary Harris tomorrow. Buddy Hield is a no for me. Aaron Gordon is a no for me. Lou Williams, I think we can take advantage of Lou Williams at 5.4. I like that. No Tyler Johnson for me. Corey Joseph is in play at 5.4, definitely. Greg Monroe, not a player that I'm particularly interested in. Well, see, if this was going back to Detroit, that would be different. The revenge narrative loses steam whenever, because the guy came from Detroit. And the revenge narrative kind of loses steam whenever, they're going to the team he used to play for is going to the team that he plays for now. But I still do want to take a look at him. At 5.3, I think I can get behind that. Eric Gordon, not a player that I really like. Josh Richardson, yes, at 5.3, I can take some of that. Otto Porter has been playing horribly lately, and I just don't see that changing in the near future, so I will not be rostering him at all. Malcolm Brogdon had a really solid game out last time. I think he keeps that going at 5.2. Matched up against Ish Smith, that is no problem. KCP, man, when is KCP going to have a nice game? Man, he's been on. He just had a DUI last night, so there's a chance that he doesn't even play. Paul Gasol, 5.2 is a no for me. I love Valanciunas in this spot. I believe that the Indiana Pacers have given up a ton of perfect lineup spots throughout the course of the season. So I think that Valanciunas at 5.2 is a very solid play. Terrence Ross is a no for me. Frank Kaminsky deserves consideration, definitely. JaMychal Green, if he does play, I think we can take a look at him. Nerlens Noel is priced down to 5.1. I kind of like him in that spot, even though the DVP doesn't look that great. No Jameer Nelson for me. Cody Zeller is in play at 5K. Lil bruh, no. I mean, after what happened against the Memphis Grizzlies with Jeff Teague and Lil bruh being a very similar player to Jeff Teague, I don't think I'm going to be going there. Tristan Thompson at 5K, yes, we can attack. Now, see, I can go two cheap centers right now, like Tristan Thompson and Valanciunas, and then pay the fuck up in other spots. I kind of like that as a strategy. Darren Collison at 5K, A player that I'm going to give consideration to, most definitely. I am. Matchup against Tim Frazier, who has been pretty tough on point guards, actually. I think we could take a look at him there. Darren Collinson's strength is not just driving to the basket, where there's going to be two bigs waiting to block some shots. He can actually shoot the ball, so he's somebody I'm gonna have a look at. Rodney Hood is now priced up to 5K. That takes me off of him. Derek Favors is questionable. If he does play, I still don't like him. Marquise is a no for me. Marcus Smart is a no. Patrick Beverly, no. Reggie Jackson, of course, he's probably not going to play any more with this team for the rest of the season. Enes Kanter does deserve consideration for me at 4.8K, man, off of the bench. That dude's a point per minute monster, and if he gets 25 minutes, 23 minutes, I think he can have a really solid impact on this game. MKG is a no for me at 4.8. I do like Mason Plumlee if he does play at 4.8. I do like that if he does play. Wesley Matthews is in play definitely at 4.8. We can attack the Memphis Grizzlies at that shooting guard position. We can take a look at Joe Ingles at 4.8 against the Washington Wizards coming off of the bench. Thad Young is still priced down very cheap at 4.8. I kind of like that spot for him. Kuzminskas, Willie Reed. So here we're going to see a lot of the guys off of the bench that we do like. Adams is down to 4.3. That can be a decent play. J.R. Smith is at 4.3. I kind of like him in that spot. If we do see Tyreke Evans play, I think we could take a look at this definitely at 4.3 because Tyreke Evans is going back to New Orleans. Him and Buddy Hield actually. So that game does have a proper revenge narrative attached to it. So if those guys are going to be playing, we can definitely look to those guys in certain spots. They still are very cheap. The Sacramento guys are very cheap. Let's go ahead and see if we can find Marco Bellinelli. I kind of like him at 4.1. Give me some JJ Barea at 4K. That would be the play for me. If I'm going to attack Memphis at the point guard in this negative DVP, it wouldn't be with Lobra or it wouldn't be with Yogi. It'd be with a guy like JJ Barea. So, but see, there's enough teams on this slate tonight that are actually playing for something to where we can shorten our player pool to plays that are meaningful, that are in meaningful games, teams that need to win, that want to win, and that's how we can approach that. Ty Lawson at 4K, not really a price point that I like. I mean, not a play that I like, but a price point that I do love. Jordan Crawford at 4K, definitely deserve consideration there. You've got Yogi Ferrell is priced down at 3.9. Wow, that's a very low price from him. Tony Parker 3.8 against Oklahoma City. That might be something to look at. Let's go and see if we can find a 3K play. A guy that has 3K flat. Who do we like? That can be the 3K play of the day. Terry Rozier at 3K. Joe Green. Bino Udrih again at 3K. Not a lot to love, man, down here. Maybe some Mirza Teletovic if something happens in the Milwaukee side. Not a lot to love, man. Dougie McBuckets at 3K could be a play that we like. Maybe some Davis Bertans if you think this game does get out of hand. Grant. Not a lot to love here. So let's go ahead and jump into the point totals for tonight's 11-game slate. And we are going to start in Charlotte, where I should be tomorrow, because I would love to see the Nuggets play and the Sharks play at home, where we've got the Charlotte Hornets and the Denver Nuggets. This is a really nice point total. This is a big point total right here. It's 220.5 points, with the Charlotte Hornets giving up 2 to the Denver Nuggets. I kind of like that, man. We've got a point total that high as well as a low point spread like that. That means we can take a look at both sides of the team and kind of go deeper into it. Now, starting on the Denver side, and what I'm doing right now is I'm making my initial player pool as we're rolling through the point total, because my first look is normally my best look. We've got Nikola Jokic at center. I like him in this spot. This is the 18th ranked DVP that we see here. Wilson Chandler is a player that I kind of like at 6K. We can look there. Maybe some Danilo Gallinari and some Gary Harris. I kind of like all of those guys in this spot. And Will Barton is going to be a game-time decision, as is Mason Plumlee. Darrell Arthur is also a game-time decision. So we can see a lot of key players for the Denver Nuggets in roles where they play a ton of minutes. Even Jamal Murray deserves consideration down there at 3.8. So I've got those guys highlighted as well. Kemba Walker, when he's at home, he's priced around, he's 8.1. He's at home. I think I like him in this spot. We can always target the Denver Nuggets perimeter game. That makes me like Nicholas Batum as well at 6.9. This is the worst defense in the league against the shooting guard position. I do like him in that spot. I don't really think I like a lot else as far as the Charlotte Hornets go. Maybe some Frank Kaminsky in some spots, or Marco Bellinelli if I'm trying to get real jiggy with it at 4.1. Next game we're talking about is the Indiana Pacers matched up against the Toronto Raptors. This is a 207-point total. Look, the Toronto Raptors giving up 6 points to the Indiana Pacers. Now, both of these teams are in the thick of the playoff hunt at this moment. Both teams want to win in terms of seeding. So you look on the Indiana side, and a guy that jumps out to me automatically is going to be Paul George. Didn't have a really great game out last time, so I think that's going to, put him back to that Paul George ownership that we've been seeing all year long, where people just haven't been rostering him a ton. 39, 58, and 34 over the last 2 games. I kind of like that as a very solid floor at 8K. We can rock with him. Miles Turner is not a player that I'm particularly interested in at 6K. Jeff Teague is somebody I do have a slight interest in now. The last game we saw Jeff Teague in did not play well at all. He finished with 12.25 DraftKings points, but the previous 4 games before that, 41, 29, 41, 39, and 40 in the previous 5 games. So, I'm going to count that last game as sort of an aberration, something to make everybody else not want to play him and leave him there for me to get him at low ownership. I kind of like that. And I want to be clear on ownership. On an 11-game slate, ownership does not mean as much as it would if it was an 8-game or a 9-game slate. But it does have its pluses to have a lower owned guy do well. DeMar DeRozan jumps off of the page to me as well at 8.5K. This dude has been playing very well lately. I think we didn't see a monster game from him in a couple. He got 46, 42, and 33, 53, and 66 over the last 5 games. The dude is definitely, a usage monster, going to be seeing all of the meaningful usage for the team. I kind of like the spot that he's in. Valanciunas would be another player that I like in this game. He's priced up from that 4.6 to 5.2. I think that's still a very fair price for a guy that can go out and double-double in 25 minutes. Doesn't need to see a ton of minutes. He can go out and double-double fairly quickly. And you know that the Indiana Pacers have given up the most perfect lineup spots to centers this year. So 42, 30, 20 over the last 3 games. A very solid floor there. I don't have an issue with him. Don't love too much else on the Toronto side. I think, at 3.6, we can look to Norman Powell if for some reason DeMar Carroll doesn't play or something. But other than that, man, there's not a lot to love. Maybe Corey Joseph, but this is a real tough matchup for point guards. And I think that's because they give it up so much down low. The Pacers give it up so much down low that point guards don't really have to ball out against him. But Corey Joseph has been steady, very steady lately. Been seeing some really solid minutes, 42, 43, and 23 over the last 3 games. That's very solid. I think we can look to Corey Joseph tomorrow. Next game we're talking about is the Orlando Magic going to Boston to take on the Celtics. This is another nice point total. It's 217.5. But the difference in this game is it's a monster spread. The Boston Celtics are giving up 11 points to the Orlando Magic. It's kind of should make us look not only to Isaiah Thomas, the main guy on the team, but maybe some of the helpers, man. Guys like Avery Bradley at 5.9. I think that's very appealing. Maybe some Al Horford at 6.7. That definitely appeals to me. We can even look to Jay Crowder if we have to in some spots. Now on the Orlando side, the only Vucevic is going to be in play for me at 7.7. I can get some Vucevic definitely. Elfrid Payton also kind of looks like a solid play matched up against Isaiah Thomas. I think he can definitely be in line for some solid minutes, some solid run. If you want to go cheap off of the bench, maybe some Bismack Biyombo can come in and get busy with some scrub love and grab a double-double off of the bench. But not too much else that I like on either side of this game. The next game we're going to talk about is the Philadelphia 76ers going to Cleveland to take on the Cavaliers. LeBron James, very nice price on LeBron, 10K. That means if he gets 60, you get 6X. I think that, coming off of that loss, if he does play tomorrow and the big 3 do play, or it'll be even better if we don't see Kevin Love tomorrow. Because that means the users have to shift over more to LeBron and Kyrie. And that definitely opens up value for the slate. So I do like LeBron tomorrow. Not very big on Kyrie. No Kevin Love for me. Maybe some Tristan Thompson because we can always attack the Philadelphia 76ers at the center spot. Now, this is a 219-point total. And the Cleveland Cavaliers are giving up 10.5 points. That is the only thing that's going to give me pause with going heavily on LeBron tonight, because we know Covington, Okafor, Sergio, they're all going to be out. So we're going to have to see a ton of minutes for some of these guys here. And I would much rather take discounts on a couple of these guys, than go heavily on the opposite side of the ball. So you look at, TJ McConnell's going to be in a solid spot, matchup against Kyrie Irving. Dario Saric at 7.5 is a player that I kind of like. Justin Anderson is probably going to be seeing that small forward minutes. He's priced to 4K. That can be very solid there. I don't have an issue with him. Maybe some Timothy Cabarrot. Now, I stacked this team just like this the other night, man. It was a really nice return on my investment. So that's something that you can definitely take a look at. We're going to have Gerald Henderson back in the fold at 3.3, and Nick Stauskas is 4.6. So that's somebody you can take a look at as well. Next game we need to talk about is the Dallas Mavericks going to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. This is the lowest point total as I can see on the slate, 192 points. That's very low. The Dallas Mavericks are receiving 4.5 points, so the Memphis Grizzlies are the home favorite. What I would love to happen is to not see in this game is to not see Marc Gasol. Right now, he's a game time decision. Chandler Parsons is out, of course. Andrew Harrison and JaMychal Green are both game time decisions. If we don't see Marc Gasol, I am automatically firing up Mike Conley as well as Zach Randolph. I'm going to like those guys a lot if you don't see. If you don't see Marc Gasol, those are the two guys I'm going to like, because the points are going to be condensed and confined to the studs. The guys are going to see the most usage because it's a very low total game. It's a very low team total as well. 98.3 for the Memphis Grizzlies. And on the Dallas Mavericks side, you can bet that the points are going to be scored a lot by guys like Wesley Matthews and Dirk Nowitzki. Those are the two guys that I do like on the Dallas side, and I might be able to get into some J.J. Barea as well. The only injury we got there is solid measure being a game time decision. Next game we're talking about is my New York Knicks going to Miami to take on the Heat. There's not yet a point total or spread yet for this game, as there's not yet a point total yet for this game, as we do have some injury concerns. Derrick Rose is a game time decision for the Knicks, as is Lance Thomas. And for the Miami Heat, Dion Waiters is out for this game as well. Gordon Dragic jumps off of the page for me at 7.4K. Very nice price on him. This is one of the worst teams in the league defending point guards. Hassan Whiteside also jumps off for me at 7.9. And some of that is due to price, because he's priced under 8K. And then the rest of it is due to matchup, man. This is a very solid matchup. Didn't have a great game out last time against New York Knicks. It's going to keep his ownership down. People are not going to want to roster him, even though he is under 8K. 31, 31, and 45 over the last 2 games. But he did have a 52-point game 5 games ago. And I think, that was against the Phoenix Suns in a tougher matchup. So I don't have an issue rocking with Hassan Whiteside, the spot that he's in. Maybe we can take a look at some Josh Richardson at 5.3. And that will be the furthest I would go. Maybe like James Johnson as well, because he's priced at 6.5. I like him. I do like James Johnson. On the New York Knicks side, Carmelo Anthony is the only player that I would be interested in if I think, if we see something throughout the day that's going to tell us he's going to see a full run of minutes. If you give me a full run of Carmelo Anthony minutes at 6.6K, I'm going to eat that up all day long. Definitely, without a doubt. Next game we're talking about is the Detroit Pistons going to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. Find it here so we can put it up for you. Yep, the Detroit Pistons are going to take on the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a 199 point total, another low point total that tells us we can roster the studs in this spot. And this really makes me want to get a piece of Giannis Antetokounmpo in this spot, because you look at it, as a 5th-ranked DVP, nobody's going to want to play Giannis tomorrow. He's priced all the way down to 9.3, bro. This dude can erupt at any moment for 65, 70 DraftKings points. The ceiling is 74. So that's somebody that we can definitely take a look at tomorrow. And he is point guard / shooting small forward eligible on DraftKings. Very nice price on him. It's a 199 point total, but the Milwaukee Bucks are giving up 10 points, so that is a cause for concern. But what that means to me, it's a 104.5 team total. I can look to Giannis and maybe some Chris Middleton in this spot, definitely. And taking a look at Greg Monroe at 5.3, there's a slight revenge narrative associated with this game. On the Detroit Pistons side, there's nothing I love. I'm not playing anybody from Detroit tomorrow. I'm just not. I can't. Next game we're talking about is the Sacramento Kings going to New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. This is a 207.5 point total, and we've got a fair amount of blowouts, supposed blowouts on the slate. And you know when that happens, that means all of them are not going to be blowouts. New Orleans Pelicans are giving up 10.5 points to the Sacramento Kings. We've got Boogie Cousins priced at 9.6. Love that price on him. Anthony Davis is no for me. Drew Holiday, 24th ranked DVP priced at 6.7. We can take a look there. Tim Frazier is going to be seeing a ton of run at that point guard position. He's only 3.6, so he's definitely a guy that we can use as a salary saving option. Whenever you can get a guy that's going to be starting to help you save salary and pay up for other spots, that's somebody that you got to take a look at. Definitely, most definitely. Jordan Crawford kind of excites me a little bit at 4K. On the Sacramento side, I like Buddy Hield, and I think that we can take a look at Darren Collison as well in this spot. Those would be the only two plays that I kind of like. And wait a minute, because we also have Tyreke Evans in the spot too, and there's no injury concern yet as far as I know. We need to really pay attention to see if any of these guys are going to be sitting, but those would be three that I like from the Sacramento Kings side. Next game we're talking about is the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is a 208.5 point total, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are the home dog. San Antonio Spurs are giving up 1.5 points. I think that's due in part to the fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be home in this game. Lot to like already. First things first, Russell Westbrook. Anytime he's over 13K, he's made value. Well, he's 12.9. So that is a cause for concern for me. Money Mike. That's a Money Mike Manningham. That is a cause for concern to me. But I'm still going to highlight him because he's Russell Westbrook. Vic Oladipo didn't have a really great game out last time. I think that continues against Danny Green defense. Steven Adams is very cheap at 4.3. Taj Gibson's at 3.7. That could be a salary saving option. They're going to need those big bodies to match up against the San Antonio Spurs. And Enes Kanter off of the bench at 4.8 does deserve consideration for me here. On the San Antonio side, we got Kawhi Leonard priced down to 9.4. That's a very solid price on him. He's going to be matched up against Andre Roberson, which is a pretty solid defender. Don't know if we're going to have to see a monster game from Kawhi, but he does deserve consideration because of who he is and what he can do on the court. Tony Parker, an 8th ranked DVP, not a player that I like. I do like Danny Green at 3.8K. I think that's a very solid play. And Dwayne Dedmon at 3.4 deserves consideration as well. Next game we're talking about is the Washington Wizards going to Utah, to Salt Lake City, to take on the Jazz. This is starting those later games. It's a 9 o'clock tip-off. There is no point total or spread yet for this game because we got George Hill being a game-time decision. We got Derek Favors as a game-time decision. John Wall, a stud and in a bad matchup. At 9.2, that's a very good price on John Wall, bro. And, he could go off. If you don't see George Hill in this game, he could go off. He's been playing out of his mind lately. Over the last 3 games, what we've seen from John Wall has been spectacular. 65, 67, and 65. So the dude over the last 3 games is averaging like 66 points. And that's nuts. And to get that type of production at 9.2, that's definitely going to help you out. So we do have to give John Wall some consideration here. Brad Beal, 7K, not a player that I'm particularly interested in. I got to think this is going to be a fairly lower point total, like somewhere around 205 maybe. So I don't know how much I want to invest in this game. Maybe some. And Gortat is 3.8, bro. That is cheap as shit for a starting center. And I hate playing centers against Rudy Gobert. But man, 3.8, bro, that is cheap as shit. That is very cheap. I mean, Ian Mahinmi is 3.1. But you hate the roster centers against Rudy Gobert. He is priced up at 8.2 in a very solid DVP matchup. We can take a look at him. Gordon Hayward, another solid matchup. He's priced up a little bit to 7.3. Rodney Hood is a no for me. And George Hill, of course, is that game time decision. Whoever starts for George Hill, I'm not playing him. Shelvin Mack is a guy that had a fairly decent game out last time. He is still priced under 4K at 3.9. Maybe we can look to him and give him some consideration in the last game on the slate. The late night hammer game, the highest point total on the slate, is the Houston Rockets going to Golden State to take on the Warriors. This is a 231 point total with the Golden State Warriors giving up 8 points. Now, James Harden is not James Harden right now. Watching the game from last night, man. You could tell he just was not feeling comfortable shooting the ball. And for that reason, I will not be having any of him. Sweet Lou Williams jumps off of the page for me, actually. He is point guard / shooting guard eligible. I do like the spot that he is in. Didn't have a horrible game last night, but not what we expected. Maybe some Patrick Beverly at 4.9. He always plays fairly decently against the Golden State Warriors. Check the last game out against the Warriors because they did play him recently. Oh, the last time, what? He only had 14 DraftKings points against the Golden State Warriors last time. 23 the game before that. Yeah, and 22 the game before that. So maybe he's not that great against Golden State. That's a cause for concern, definitely. So there's not too much I like on the Houston side, man. It's crazy because this is one of those high point total games, and you really want to get a piece of it, man. But they're gonna take Clint Capella off of the floor. Eric Gordon, if he gets to start, he's in a very solid DVP matchup at 5.3. Maybe we can look there. On the Golden State Warriors side, Steph Curry automatically deserves consideration at 9.5. That's a nice price on him for what he's been doing lately. If we check over his last 3 games, 53, 59, 48, and 68 over the last 4 games. In each of those games, he's been priced 8.8, 9.4, 9.1, and a flat 9K. So he definitely is in that same price realm where he can go off in a high pace, big up-tempo matchup like this. I think we can see a solid game from him. We've got Draymond Green under 8K. The matchup is not, primo, but he's a solid look. As is Klay Thompson, 7.1. I mean, you can stack the shit out of Golden State and still, get what you need in the way of other teams because there's a lot of value on the slate. So I like the way this slate is shaping up. It's gonna be a really nice one. We're gonna do well. We're gonna do very well. And also Andre Iguodala at 4.6 is a player that deserves consideration. Last time Matt Barnes got the start, I think that was because of Kawhi Leonard. I don't think that's gonna happen again. They may go back to Patrick McCaw, but we need to be on the lookout for that. So we've recapped, or we've gone through all 11 games, man. I want y'all to go out and have a very profitable Friday. Remember, stick to your bankroll management. Baseball is right around the corner. Let's just keep it 300, man. Let's go out and keep it 300. Have a really solid showing tonight. Now, I will be in the midday mix at approximately 3:30. We're going to be doing some slate breaking and core 4 roster building. I will issue out a core of plays. If you're in the VIP, be on the lookout for Rudy Herta's perfect lineup vid. It should be dropping somewhere around 2, 3 o'clock right before the midday mix. That way we can have a look at that and then jump into the mix and chop it up. All the cousins out on YouTube and as well as Twitter, we will be broadcasting, doing a live stream, letting you guys into the sweatshop, let you know exactly how we're going to be setting up for this 11-game slate. Thank you so much for everything you all do for the sweatshop. And go check out some other shows, man. There's a lot of cats on YouTube. I have some really solid stuff. I'm talking about cats like Ryan Kostrowski, Gundacker's good show. You can go to the homies over there at Fantasy Phenom, good stuff. Vaughn Harris, maybe some Cam ATL, DFS Weekly Lineups. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube, a lot of content, man. So here's where you need to be. We just want to help. We just have a desire to help people, and I'm very excited about the direction that everything is going in. And if you want to support the show, well, you are supporting the show in its purest form with your views. But if you want to further support the show, there's a box over there. Click that box. Let it take you where it has to take you. Visit my personal PayPal at simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com. Or if you want to become a full-fledged member of the DFS Sweatshop and get access to our premium content, our live streams, everything that we can offer you, go ahead and check us out at www.dfssweatshop.com. I will personally pull back the velvet rope and walk you in hand to the best Facebook group that is online. Thank you so much, and you know what I'm saying. Go out and keep it 300.